The Raptors are back in the 6 for Game 6. 146 teams have faced an 0-3 deficit. The Raptors have become just the 14th to force that Game 6. Jevohn, that momentum, you can feel that it's shifted.
You can, but V, first, we're not going to let Goran off the hook. Higher ambitions? Boy, stop. No, but, I think what we're seeing with this Raps team is just the adjustment, the resilience. And from these last two victories, there's been such a focus on the defensive side and controlling guys, controlling Maxey, controlling Harden, controlling Embiid. All those guys in the last two games have been 16 of 95 from the floor. And I think, it starts with Embiid, the bodies that you're showing him. And it's a little different than what we saw in the first couple of games, right? Now, you're seeing double teams or faking some double teams from the strong side and coming from the weak side. Really making him think. And that's speeding him up, and you're seeing him just turn the ball over. 5 turnovers last night and really just chucking the ball into the stands. And I think it's one of those things where you're playing the mental game with him now and wearing him. You've seen him wear down physically, but it starts with taxing him mentally.
Yeah, I love the double teams. I mean, you can just see they're not letting him get to his spots in the first place. They're making sure that as soon as he catches it, he's got to throw it to somebody else. He can't even get to the moves that he wants to pull, to get to the free throw line, to get to the basket. And the defense overall has just completely turned around from what we saw in games 1 and 2 for the Raptors. Part of this turnaround as well, you need your best player to be your best player, and Pascal Siakam has absolutely been that.
He's turned it all the way up, right? He's out there, he's just hooping right now. He's playing free. And I think he's adjusted as well, right? You see his points of attack. You're not as stagnant. There's not too many dribbles off the catch, 1 or 2 dribbles being purposeful with intent and getting the ball out of his hands when he doesn't have the opportunity, right? So he's using his teammates to his advantage. That becomes an asset. And just identifying, right, how to attack, where those points are. We've seen him last night a couple times just getting downhill and turning the corner on the primary defender. Then he's stuck with Embiid. And guess what? Embiid doesn't want to exert that effort, clear lanes at the basket. So I think for Pascal, it's just that aggression, just that intent, and he's not afraid to take that 3, right? The last 2 games, 4 3-point attempts per game, and I think that opens it up. It forces that defense, one, to play him honest, but he has the quickness, he has the length that when you're closing out on him hard, he's going to get around, he's going to get to the basket, and then it's just him, him in the world there. He can finish.
It's spicy. It's real spicy right now.
Spicy P.
Now, Scottie Barnes, you look at him dealing with that ankle issue, but still saying, hey, my team is down 0-3. I need to help any way I can. He comes up with the boards in Game 4, and now in Game 5, you see the playmaking, you see the scoring, taking advantages of mismatches, attacking Maxey whenever they got the chance. He's putting it all together now, and that really shifts things. He
has an old school game, but also with that game, he has an old school mentality, and we're seeing, right, he's come out, he's doing this on one bad wheel. And I like the fact that it's not just offensively, right? He's come out and he has a presence about him that permeates throughout this team. And he's coming in, he's rebounding the basketball, and I think that's where it really starts, right? We talk about all the things that he does, but in this series, what it does for this team is he gets that rebound off the rim, he pushes it, right? And now he's able to initiate the offense. You have guys like Pascal on the second side, you have Gary on the second side, OG on that second side, and allows those guys to be in scoring position and allow them to make plays, especially when the defense is recovering and retreating. So defensively, his ability to use his length, one, to either play one-on-one in the post or really shrink the floor on Embiid and help on Harden and help on Maxey. But then he's long enough and quick enough that he can stride and not have to cover too much ground to get out to his defender. So it's just those little things right there that are really moving the needle, right? And I think it's huge on the defensive side because, again, he covers so much ground that he can help and recover without having to do too much.
Eric Spoelstra once spoke about Marc Gasol, and he said he's someone that doesn't allow the offense to get seasick. And that's what you see with Scottie Barnes, right? You see these little plays where all of a sudden, things are looking like they're about to get clunky, and boom, there's a no-look pass, and it's an easy basket. And that's what Scottie brings to the table. Now, Scottie's being a star, Pascal's being a star. You expect what you're getting out of Gary and OG, but the bench, you look at Precious, Chris Boucher, Thad Young, those guys are getting it done.
And you see it, right? I think that's the nice thing about this, the beauty in it is the bench for the Raptors has taken a lot of criticism this year, right? And right now they're really, accepting the challenge. The bright lights are on, and you can see that production from them. And it's not big numbers, but what it is, it's coming in and having an impact and doing what's needed from this team and not getting, out of character for what they do. Chris Boucher, he's going to shoot the ball from, when he has an open shot, he's going to hustle, he's going to dive on the floor, he's going to block a shot here or there. Thad, he's really playing well, and if you look at this roster as well, he has the most playoff games down this young roster. I think we all forget that. Thad's been around the block, a couple times. So the fact that he comes in, brings that experience, and then Precious, man, he's really grown in the series, and you see his ceiling now, right? And again, you talk about that versatility piece. He's able to do it on the offensive end, but what he's doing on the defensive side is really the treat here. And you see what Masai was seeing. You see what Bobby had seen and Dan Tolzman. Like, I'm glad that he's playing well and playing well now, under the bright lights.
Yeah, I believe one of us had him as an X factor for this series too.
Yeah, it was me. It was me.
But hey, the bright lights are here. You've got it to 3-2. How are you feeling about Game 6 and 7? Hopefully, Game 7.
Game 6 and potentially Game 7, I feel good about it, right? Because if you're the Raptors, the pressure is still on Philly. Their backs are against the wall, and I think what we've seen, especially in this last game here, is you've taken their hearts from them. You look at the fans leaving the arena before the game's even done, booing their crowd. They're disappointed with their effort. And I think that's where, if you're the Raptors, you have to continue to just step on their necks. I feel like because they've attacked these guys, because they've put, Embiid in compromising situations, because they're out there blowing by James Harden, they don't have much right now, and they have a tendency to check out, especially Embiid, when things aren't going their way. So if you're the Raptors, you got to feel good. If you're Raptors fans, you have to feel good about how your team is playing, because the effort, it's the energy, it's the fight that this team has, which you're not seeing from Philly. More importantly, their feature guys in Embiid and Harden.
House money, right? This was all about getting experience, growth, and development for the young players. And at this point, you've got that. But hey, you got that house money, you might as well roll with it.
Roll it.
For those of you watching, make sure you hit us up in the comments. Let us know what you think has been the biggest reason for the Raptors turning around this series.